So I think most were expecting a Springtrap-like character to appear today, but we actually got something a little bit different.
Yeah, I think Scott's actually trying to hint to us a possible Fredbear and Friends connection.
So what is going on, guys? This is Ryan here.
And this is the Ryan here.
And today we once again have another video, and of course, ScottGames.com has once again updated with another one of the mascots turned into this toy-like character. And in this one, it's a bit more different than the Fredbear one we saw yesterday, because the character has physically been removed from the image and been replaced by this smaller, cartoony-like character.
It seems Scott's going to be updating this regularly, and I don't know when he's actually going to stop, but it's very strange how he's moving on to the main kind of characters now.
Yeah, so of course, if you guys can actually see the character we're talking about, it's a character situated just behind Freddy at the front and also Bonnie as well. That is no other than a cartoon-like Chica character, and it's got some very interesting features which we're going to go straight into.
So yeah, the first one we should pick up on is this is pretty much just a smaller and more cartoon version of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 version of Chica.
Yeah, absolutely, and we can tell this of course because of the gaping mouth. It's a very similar design, and this actually moves on to another feature as to why we can definitely tell that this animatronic is from the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 era.
So yeah, as we've discussed in previous videos, there was another endoskeleton that was actually teased by Scott. It's the one just to the right of Nightmare Fredbear, and if you look at the teeth of that, it actually has very similar teeth to this of this Chica character.
Absolutely, yeah, and that definitely means that there must be some form of connection between this new toy animatronic, this Withered Chica lookalike character, and of course the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 endoskeleton. Now, another thing as well which actually ties us in greatly with the Withered Chica design is actually the fact that this smaller cartoon animatronic is also damaged in the exact same fashion.
Yeah, if we know Five Nights at Freddy's 2 Chica, she actually had both her arms ripped off. Not completely, it was only down from like the elbow downwards, or the, I think it was like the wrist downwards. She pretty much had no hands, and it just seems like Scott seems to be creating, in particular, the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 cast, because if we think about it, Fredbear was actually from the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 era as well, and so are these endoskeletons, and it just seems like he's recreating these guys, but in cartoon form.
Absolutely, and it does make you think as well, does this mean that we're going to possibly be seeing that the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 cast also gets turned into this cartoon form as well? It's very interesting what Scott's actually doing currently.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know where he's planning on going with this, because if we are saying that is going to be the Fredbear and Friends, then it mostly will be predominantly the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 cast, because we know that they existed before the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 new toy animatronics, and they were all the original characters. So it'll be interesting to see if he does integrate the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 characters.
I suppose another thing which actually links these new guys with the Fredbear and Friends cast is actually the outer shell of these characters designed so far. Of course, yesterday we spoke about with Fredbear that his outer shell seemed to be designed in a very similar fashion to the toy animatronic, so this could possibly mean that maybe this was a generation just before the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 toy animatronic generation.
Yeah, and it'd obviously cover up the whole phone guy saying that these withered animatronics were from the previous location, so the previous location may have been this Fredbear and Friends location.
Absolutely, and there is actually an alternative towards this as well.
So yeah, this Chica, although it looks very brand new and very shiny like a toy animatronic style, I guess, it still has the damage that Five Nights at Freddy's 2 Chica had, so it just makes you think where Scott's going to go with this, like a possible spin-off series.
Yeah, exactly, and also going off that, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense why this different animatronic would actually be damaged in almost the identical fashion that the Withered Chica is from Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and also the fact it's actually replacing this Withered Chica animatronic. It just makes me think that maybe Scott is actually creating a spin-off version of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, maybe in a more child-friendly form, because that seems to be the way that things are slowly progressing right now.
Yeah, see, I was thinking that in Five Nights at Freddy's 4 we come across the Fredbear and Friends TV show, and that does look like some kind of cartoon that may have been around at that time, so it just makes you think if he, like you say, he's going to go for a cartoon spin-off game featuring those characters in that time era.
Exactly, and I think an interesting one, and I've got to say this now, will be whatever he does with Withered Bonnie, if this is going to be one of the characters, because of course we know Withered Bonnie had absolutely no face, so does that mean that the cartoon version of this spin-off is going to follow the same trait?
Yeah, well, we'll see.
It's going to be very interesting, and I think as the newer animatronics are also updated, that is the other Withered cast, I think we're definitely going to be able to to at least decipher what Scott might actually be creating in terms of a spin-off, Fredbear and Friends, or an alternative game altogether.
Yeah, definitely.
So there we have it, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this discussion. Of course, talking about the newest update on ScottGames.com, and that is in fact the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 Withered Chica being replaced with this cartoon lookalike. Hopefully you did enjoy this video, and be sure to comment down below any of your thoughts in relation to this newest teaser image.
And if you guys did enjoy this video, why not leave a like rating down below? And if you're new to our channel, why not subscribe for more interesting videos like this and also the gameplays.
So thank you very much for watching the video, guys. We do hope you did enjoy, and we'll of course see you on the next one.
Goodbye, guys.
Want to see even more content from us?
Consider liking and subscribing to ensure you'll see all content in the foreseeable future.
And hey, why not check out our past 2 videos?